Hey guys, this is my little patented intro that I like to do sometimes when I feel like I need to explain certain things that weren't fully explained in the normal episodes. This is for episode 13.5, which is kind of my little mini episode that I recorded a few days ago now, and I'm just releasing tonight. This is the fourth or fifth time I'm recording or trying to record this because I recorded it once, but I left out something I wanted to say, so I tried to re-record it. My daughter's awake, and she's been distracting me and making it very, very difficult. So the audio for episode 13.5, it gets kind of messed up in a couple places. I don't know what happened with Audacity, or maybe it's my computer. It's probably my computer. My computer is the biggest hunk of garbage on the face of the planet. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so the audio gets a little messed up in a couple places. It almost tears. It gets will just cut from one thing to another with no rhyme or reason, and it's very obvious when you hear it, because I'll be talking and then it will just kind of stop and it'll jump ahead 10 or 15 seconds. Most notably, this happens in the middle where I'm talking about the Road of Sacrifices. At the bottom area is a swamp, and you see a bunch of little crabs, and from the background, essentially, a huge, gigantic crab comes scuttling towards you, and this was a real oh shit moment for me that I thought really brought me back to the original Dark Souls. So that's what I was talking about in the kind of middle part, if it's not fully clear because the audio gets messed up. So it's wonky in a couple places, but it's still listenable. I think you can still understand what the heck is going on. So thanks for listening, and thankfully, I think this intro is finally done. Hey guys, what is going on? You are hearing my voice yet again. Why is that? Because I decided I wanted to do 2 Soulscasts this week, and I actually didn't have the time to do 2 full 45-minute episodes. So I actually just finished episode 13, which is already released if you're listening to this, and it was about Dark Souls 3's popularity compared to the previous games. This is episode 13.5, a little mini episode. I did one a while back, episode 5.5, which is all about slashy souls. Check it out if you want to hear how much I love that game. But I just want to do a quick update on my progress in Dark Souls 3. I'm going to forego all the introductions and all the games I'm playing, because just listen to episode 13 or any of the other episodes. Although I guess if you listen to episode 4 to figure out what games I'm playing, I'm probably not playing the same games. But that's irrelevant. Alright, Dark Souls 3. And I wanted to do a little mini one because I don't want every episode to be, oh, well, this is what I've done in Dark Souls 3, and here's 40 minutes of it. I want to try to get some new things and talk about different things other than just my progress, which is why I'm very happy I actually got the idea to do the popularity episode that I just did. But let's talk for 10 minutes now. Let's talk about Dark Souls 3. Where am I? Well, I'm not 100% sure where to go. I just finished the Cathedral of the Deep, which was quite an interesting area. I really liked it. It starts off outside, and it's like a cathedral, but you eventually go underground, pretty deep underground, to an underground cathedral, a Cathedral of the Deep, as it were. And it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. There's 2 giants there, huge giant enemies. They're I don't know, 4 stories tall or something. They're much, much bigger than you. But it's a really cool looking area, a pretty unique area for the Souls series. The boss of this area was the Deacons of the Deep. It was this giant mob of pyromantic deacons, I guess, and one of them is kind of glowing red, and if you attack him, it hurts that's the boss kind of. It takes away from the health. But after you kill that one that has the red flame, it transfers to another one. Eventually, when you get the boss down to half health, a permanent boss appears, for lack of a better term, where you can just keep attacking him to hurt the boss. But there's a huge mob of enemies. There's like probably 20 enemies, and they just keep respawning. It's a pretty cool fight. I likened it a little bit to the Prowling Magus fight from Dark Souls 2, except it's way, way, way better. It's got cool music. It has a great little arena you fight in. It's very cool. I liked it. A boss battle I did not like so much was the Crystal Sage, which is the boss of the Road of Sacrifices, which was a very, very hard area for me. It's been the most difficult area so far. It was not fun. And the boss of that area was a huge pain in the ass. It was essentially a Crystal Sage. It was like a kind of a wizard magician. I don't know if it's a female or a male, because it wears a huge hat and like this big cloak, and it might have like some sort of crow mask or bird mask on, so you can't even tell. But it uses a wide variety of almost like soul magics, but they're all purple. There's like a homing one. There's a sort of like a regular soul spear. I think it does one where it like shoots these like purple crystals up from the ground, and so that was definitely the hardest of the 4 bosses I've fought so far. It starts summoning clones when you get it down to about half health, which is so much fun. Luckily, you can kill them in one hit, and I actually just hit them from afar with throwing knives, which was pretty helpful. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not sure exactly where to go. I've gone back to the Undead Settlement because I think I've missed some things there, according to my friend at work that I was talking about this game with just last night. And after I explore here, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out, hopefully without looking it up, because that's what I'm really, really trying to do with this game, not look up anything. And I'm doing pretty good so far. I have about actually, I'll tell you the exact amount of time I have right now, because I actually have the game open and I'm playing it. I'm not playing it when I'm recording, because two reasons. I have to hold this microphone, and I can't play with one hand, and I think I would be far too distracted, and I wouldn't really record a very good podcast. But I'm at 13 hours and 50 minutes. And I know a lot of people have beaten it already. My friend at work has already beaten it, which is crazy to me. But that's, that's fine. I'm hoping to get a good amount of time to play tonight. I have some other thoughts on the game that I didn't talk about last week in my first impressions episode that I'd like to kind of go over now as well. And those are as follows. Well, first of all, I'm going to talk about the Estus flasks. I am having a huge problem keeping them. As in, I use them a lot, and I find myself unable to heal myself. I've been using the Embers, which are basically like the humanities of the previous game, where if you use it, you get full health and you turn kindled, I guess, or enkindled, whatever the term is. I've been using those to heal myself, because I find a pretty decent amount of them. But I have 6 Estus flasks, and they're reinforced to +1. And 6 right now is just not enough. I'm finally finding a bit of my groove in this game, but I'm still having some trouble. But I'm wielding the large club +1, which +1 is the same exact, well, basically the same damage that my battle axe +3 does. This swings a little slower, but it swings in an arc, so you can hit more than one enemy at a time, and it looks really cool because it's a huge, huge, giant club. You're just wielding on your, just holding on your shoulder like a circus strongman or something. And I have some rings, which are not really that great. I have a bleed resistance and a poison bite ring, and then the Lloyd's sword ring, which boosts attack when HP is full. And I never have full HP, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, Estus, I'm having a bit of a time with. Now, I do have a gripe, and I don't know if this is just for Dark Souls 3. I honestly don't remember. But we've been having some internet problems where our internet will just cut out. Like, we'll lose internet for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then it'll connect back, and it'll be fine. Every time that happens, if I'm playing Dark Souls 3, I get kicked out of the game, and I get sent back to the main menu. And then I have to sit at the main menu and wait until internet comes back so I can keep playing online mode. Did the other games kick you out of the game completely if you lost internet while you were playing, if you were playing online mode? I feel like maybe they did. But, alright, let me look at my notes here. There was a part of me, I got very reminiscent of the original Dark Souls, and it was a fleeting feeling. It only lasted like 5 or 10 seconds, but it was amazing. And you have to go down this path, and there's some enemies on it to the bottom, and through the trees, this humongous crab, like a gigantic, huge crab, just comes up and starts attacking me. And I was like this oh shit moment, like, whoa, what the fuck is that? And it really caught me off guard, and it just reminded me of like seeing those big huge cats in the forest, Darkroot Garden for the first time in the original Dark Souls, seeing them and just being like, what the hell is that? Or seeing that huge rat that's in the depths for the first time. It gave me a big feeling of that, and I thought that was great, because that's one thing I think was missing from Dark Souls 2. I never got any of those oh shit moments where something as simple as just seeing a normal sized enemy blown up to huge proportions. I love that kind of stuff. I don't know why. But as I said, the Road to Sacrifices I had a very, very, very hard time with, and I was getting very frustrated. I'm so happy I got through it. And the Cathedral of the Deep was a much better area. It was still tough, but it was much better than the Road of Sacrifices. And I know I'm looking at my notes, there's lots of Dark Souls stuff. I know I mentioned it last week. I found a couple instances where there was direct references to Dark Souls, the original. This game does not hide the fact that it's clearly a sequel, and I think that's great. First of all, Black Knights from the original Dark Souls, they're back. I found one so far. He's in the Road of Sacrifices, and he's pretty tough. I did kill him, which I'm happy about, but he's pretty tough. But he looks exactly the same as the other ones, as the ones you find at the Kiln of the First Flame at the very end of Dark Souls. So that's cool. And just in general, like, you know, the loading screen will show you items and item descriptions, and there's so many just mentions of places and people from the original Dark Souls, and none of that stuff was in Dark Souls 2. Everything you saw and read in Dark Souls 2 was strictly in that game world. Now Dark Souls 3 has new stuff too, new characters, new locations, but all like the items and stuff directly mention old places like Katarina and Ferosa, I think, Farasa, and other places like that. I'm trying to think, see if I can even like find a couple things. Alright, there's rubbish in this game as well, which there was in the other games. Dung pies, which is kind of funny, I guess. There is the Warrior of Sunlight Covenant, which I'm currently a part of. Sunrose for life. I found 3 covenants so far. I'm not sure how many there are. I think they're all from the original Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2. Things that directly reference Dark Souls, and I think it's great. I'm just very, very, very excited to see how this ties into Dark Souls and where the story's going to go. Because again, that kind of stuff was on in Dark Souls 2. And speaking of Dark Souls 2, there is actually a reference to Dark Souls, which I thought was kind of cool. There's a giant, like giants from Dark Souls 2 that are like the trees, where you see one, he's like stuck in the ground, and he's like I think vines or something around him, and it says something about a giant seed as well, and that's a direct reference to Dark Souls 2. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wish I remember that was. But as I have my notes here, it's intrinsically linked with this original game in ways that the second one was not, and I just can't wait to learn more. It's very exciting. I love what they've done with it so far. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've put in. When I did episode 12 last week about my first impressions, I had like 5.5 hours. So I've played another 8 hours since then. And a lot of that was on the Road of Sacrifices. Like I said, right now I'm going back to the Undead Settlement. I'm going to see if I can miss a boss that allows me to make boss weapons, which I'm kind of excited to see what those are all about. Oh man, anything else? Well, I will say so far, many of the rings I found have not been great, and I don't think I have great armor either, but I can't find anything good. And as for my weapons, I am using the large club. I was using the battle axe +3. I tried to use the butcher knife, which is a really fast weapon, and it has A scaling for strength, because I'm a strength build, but it wasn't strong enough. I would have to upgrade it pretty high to get it strong enough. I don't know if the A scaling makes up for that and the fact that it's very fast, but it's a cool looking weapon. I did also infuse a regular longsword with fire, but I haven't even touched it yet. That's the only infusing I've done so far. But yeah, I'm still loving it. I'm actually getting like very obsessed. The first couple hours, I really liked it, but I wasn't obsessed and into it. And now that I've had time to really sit down and play it, I'm all in. It's a great game. I am so happy with how it's come out so far. I They've done it again. Miyazaki and From have done it again. And I'm sorry that I don't know anyone else from. I always mention Miyazaki because he's the head guy. I should really like do a minute of research and figure out like who else worked in this game. I know it was a very dedicated team of a lot of guys. So if I have if FromSoft is listening and I haven't mentioned your name, I'm very 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 sorry. But I know you've worked in this game and I'm very very appreciative of that. Everybody, Dark Souls 3 is amazing. If you haven't played it, play it or bought it. Buy it and play it. It's awesome. I still stand by. If you didn't like Dark Souls 2, you should still try this. And if you like Dark Souls 2, obviously keep playing. Play this. And if you like the original Dark Souls, definitely fucking play this. That's all I got. And I'll see you guys next week when I probably talk more about Dark Souls 3. Bye.